Welcome to The Explainer. So, you're thinking about becoming an engineer, but you're facing that huge decision that could shape your whole career. Well, today we're going to cut right through all the noise and break down two of the biggest fields out there: mechanical versus chemical engineering. You've probably asked yourself this a million times, right? Which one is actually better? I mean, where are the jobs? Who makes more money? Which one is just more exciting? And it's a tough call because on the surface, they both sound like fantastic options. But, once you peel back a layer or two, you're looking at two totally different worlds. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Our goal here is simple: break it all down so you have the clarity you need to make the right choice for you. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first. To really compare these two, we've got to understand what they're all about. At their core, what does a mechanical or a chemical engineer actually do all day? Let's kick things off with mechanical engineering. The easiest way to think about it, it's the engineering of pretty much anything that moves. We're talking about everything from a tiny gear inside a watch to a massive jet engine. If it has moving parts, if it uses or creates energy, you can bet a mechanical engineer designed it. It's all about the physical world, stuff you can actually see and touch. Now, chemical engineering, that operates on a completely different scale. And look, it's not about just mixing chemicals in a beaker in some lab. Nope. It's about designing the enormous, complex industrial plants that do that mixing on a massive scale. Chemical engineers figure out how to take raw materials and transform them into something valuable, like turning crude oil into fuel or simple compounds into life-saving medicines. So, as you can see, these two fields have very different ways of looking at the world. Now let's see how that difference plays out in what you'll actually study in college, and of course, the kind of career you can expect when you graduate. And this is where the paths really start to split. If you go mechanical, your world is going to be all about physics. You'll live and breathe thermodynamics, fluid dynamics, and you'll spend a ton of time designing things with tools like CAD. But if you choose chemical, you might start with chemistry, but you'll quickly shift to the engineering side of it, things like heat transfer, mass transfer, and process control. It's all about making reactions work safely and efficiently on a huge industrial scale. Naturally, those different skills lead to very different jobs. Mechanical engineering is incredibly broad. I mean, you could end up working on cars, planes, robots, you name it. So many industries need machines, so the opportunities are just vast. Chemical engineering, on the other hand, is a bit more specialized. It's focused on those process-heavy industries like oil and gas, pharma, or even food production. Anywhere that transforming materials is the name of the game. So what's a typical day look like? Well, as a mechanical engineer, you might spend your morning designing on a computer in an office and your afternoon getting your hands dirty on the factory floor. A chemical engineer? They're more likely to be in a research lab tweaking a new process, or out at a massive plant making sure the whole operation is running safely and efficiently. All right, let's talk about the big one, the question that's on everybody's mind. What about the money? Let's break down what you can expect to earn and what your career growth really looks like in these fields. Right out of college here in India, the starting salaries are actually pretty similar for both. As a fresher, you can expect to be in that 3 to 6 lakhs per annum range. Honestly, at this stage, the company that hires you is often a bigger factor than which of these two degrees you have. But here's the thing. That's just the starting line. Once you get a few years of experience under your belt, this number becomes the real benchmark. Breaking that 10 lakhs per annum mark is a very, very achievable goal in both fields, which just goes to show you how high the ceiling for growth really is. But there is a really important trade-off you need to think about. Chemical engineers can land some exceptionally high-paying jobs, especially in super lucrative sectors like oil and gas. But mechanical engineers have a much, much wider variety of industries to choose from. So it really boils down to a choice. Do you want a shot at those specialized, high-paying roles, or do you want a broader field of opportunity? So we've talked about the concepts, the careers, and yeah, the cash. We've got all the pieces on the table. How in the world do you actually make the final call? When it comes right down to it, it's about this. Seriously, forget about the salary for just a second and ask yourself a simple question. Are you the kind of person who just loves taking things apart to see how they work? Do you get genuinely excited by gears, engines, and designing physical things? That right there is the heart of a mechanical engineer. Or is your passion in the lab, Are you fascinated by how chemical reactions can create totally new things, and do you dream of scaling that up to change an entire industry? Well, that's your path to chemical engineering. At the end of the day, there is no single better field, period. Both of them offer incredible, fulfilling, high-paying careers. The absolute most important thing to remember is this: the best choice isn't the one with the highest starting salary. The best choice is the one that lines up with what you're genuinely passionate about. That's what's going to drive you to be great, way more than any number on a paycheck ever will. So we've laid out the two paths. One is all about shaping the physical world of machines. The other is about shaping the molecular world of materials. The question is no longer which one is better. The real question is, which world do you want to build?